The Rock Metal Podcast, episode 105, with The Dead Centuries. All right, Rock Metal Nation, what is up? This is John from The Rock Metal Podcast. That sample you just heard was Overdrive by The Dead Centuries, who I've got on the show with me right now. They're an instrumental prog metal band from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. We're going to be listening to that song as well as one other while finding out more information about the band. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot. Good to be here.
Absolutely. Let's go listen back to that track, Overdrive. coming back from Overdrive, you know what I love about it is that it starts off, I don't know if I want to use the word slow, but it starts off like with the clean guitar and then kicks into Overdrive.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea behind that. It starts off halftime with the clean guitar, kind of quiet, and then it goes into double time with the same sort of melody on the lead guitar, but then the band comes in, really picks up, and gets a lot heavier and sets you up for the rest of the song.
Yeah, and I bet it's a lot of fun to play. Does the crowd really get going when that happens?
Yeah, that's one of the more melodic and up-tempo, I guess, upbeat songs that we have, so it's a good one for the crowd.
Yeah. Now, I know that there aren't any lyrics to this track, but to say that there's no story behind the song, I think, is not do instrumental music justice. So I'm just kind of curious what the story or inspiration behind Overdrive is.
Well, this was the first track that I wrote when I moved in with my girlfriend. We moved last year around this time, and getting set up in my new studio space, home studio, I just felt inspired by other instrumental guitar players like C2A, Pliny, Aaron Marshall from Intervals, and I wanted to write something that was really pop inspired with singable melodies that really get stuck in your head. And like you said, when it picks up, it goes into overdrive. That's kind of where the name came from.
Wow. Now, you did mention that you were like in a new space. Obviously, there's only so many times you can be in a new space. So I was going to ask if there was anything unique about the writing process. Obviously, you were in a new space. There's only so many times that can happen. Did you find that maybe the changes in the new space that you were in, not just physically, but in time, like with your girlfriend, with everything, came and culminated to the creation of Overdrive?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. It was probably the most fun I've had writing a piece of music. It came together pretty easily. Um, Sometimes it can be tough to get through a song when you're writing it, trying to figure out what comes next. And this one was done in a couple of days, and I was pretty happy with how it turned out. It's funny, I thought I finished it, and then there was a little part of me that was like, wait a couple of days, listen to it, and maybe you'll want to change it, because I didn't want to get too excited, too attached to it. But it turned out pretty much how it is on the album when I was done writing it.
Cool. So after that couple of days, what was revealed to you when you listened to the track?
I guess my initial feelings when I finished writing it stuck around, and the melodies were there, the hooks were there, and the energy of the song was really what I was going for, and it stuck.
Beauty. Let's go listen to the next track, Attack of the Mutant. come back from Attack of the Mutant. So we start off with Overdrive. Bam! You got to get your engines up so that we have the Attack of the Mutant. Quick question for you. Is there a concept? Is it a concept album at all?
No, it's not. But, I mean, some of the names might seem like they're a concept. Attack of the Mutant is actually a reference to that 90s Goosebumps books series. And Attack of the Mutant Part 2, funny enough, there's a Part 2 to that Attack of the Mutant story.
All right.
Big fan of that series when I was a kid, and listening to the song, trying to come up with a name for it, it kind of sounds like there's some kind of attack of a mutant, I guess. And at the beginning, there's these panned guitar riffs that go back and forth, and that's kind of like a back and forth of a fight, I guess.
Okay, now you mentioned that you had the track and then thinking of a name afterwards, so I'm curious what inspired the track to sound the way that it does.
I think the first track that I wrote on a 7-string guitar, I had gotten a 7-string not too long before. First time I really spent any time playing it, and of course I wanted to use that low, heavy 7th string, and there's a lot of dissonant parts, a lot of heavy parts in that song, and I guess the inspiration was use the 7th string how you might expect, with a little bit of unique stuff thrown in there. Like the chorus, that's pretty unheavy, I guess, pretty poppy.
Yeah, I guess what it struck me is actually one of the questions that I have for the song. You brought it up was, is that a 7-string? Because I remember listening in Overdrive, I don't remember hearing anything like that. And then when I was listening to Attack of the Mutant, I was like, bam, all of a sudden I'm getting hit in the face with a 7-string, I think.
Yeah, that's the first 7-string song on the album. There's 2 more, Attack of the Mutant Part 2, and the final track on the album, Souvenir, that's also 7-string. I thought I'd try something new. I got a 7-string, and I had to use it, and had to use the 7th string as much as possible to make it worthwhile.
Changing the key that you're writing in. Shit, I gotta use the B.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I can change the tuning of it. I'm a guitar player. Sweet. I still use the 7th string, everybody. All right, cool. What was unique about the writing process? I mean, obviously you mentioned that you got a 7-string. Maybe take us through that buying process. Was that something that you wanted to use on the album, or was that just something that you happened to pick up and then just it came to be with part of the writing?
Well, I'm a big fan of the band Mandroid Echo Star from Guelph, Ontario. They're a prog metal band, and they have 3 7-string guitar players, which is pretty cool in my opinion.
You can never have too many, eh?
Yeah. So I initially got that 7-string because I wanted to play some of their stuff. I learned a couple of their tunes, and then I figured I would try writing a Mandroid Echo Star-like song. There are a few parts that are throwbacks to them in that tune, but I guess overall it was just trying something new, and it was inspiring to have another piece of equipment that could bring out a different musical side in my playing.
This is true. Were you surprised at all by the different musical side that came out?
A little bit, yeah, because usually I'm not one to write tunes that are that heavy. I mean, Overdrive isn't nearly that heavy. It doesn't have the same kind of dissonant, angry feel. And yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, but it was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Now, what exciting news do you have coming up for Rock Metal Nation to pay attention to here in 2018?
Well, in 2018, we're releasing the full-length album. It's a debut full-length album called Race Against Time, and that'll be released on January 26th. We also have an album release show happening the same date here in Ottawa. So if you're in the Ottawa area, contact somebody in the band or one of the opening acts, and you can get your tickets for that.
Fantastic. So the next logical question for Rock Metal Nation who wants to take you up on those offers is, where can we find you on the World Wide Web? Is there a website that we should go to?
The website is thedeadcenturies.net, and that has links to all our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and you can pre-order our album also through the website or any of the major music buying websites: Google Play, Amazon, iTunes, Bandcamp, anywhere good music is sold.
Which is exactly why you are there, my good man. Now, unless there's anything else you wanted to throw out there, I just wanted to thank you for taking time out of your day to come on to the Rock Metal Podcast and sharing the Dead Centuries with Rock Metal Nation.
Thanks a lot. It was a great time.
Alright, Rock Metal Nation. Hopefully you just found your new favorite band in the Dead Centuries. Big thanks again to them for coming on and sharing their music with us. Make sure to head over to www.therockmetalpodcast.ca to get all the information on the show you just heard today. And until then, rock on, Rock Metal Nation.